Hello, I'm Bert Oliver, and welcome to this issue of Bowie News and Views with co-host John Rouse, who will introduce our special guest today. John?
Thank you, Burton.
Yes, sir.
It's really a pleasure to welcome Al Golato. I suppose I'd age myself if I said how long we've known each other, all three of us, as a matter of fact. We were all young and vigorous back in the Bowie Kiwanis Club in the 1970s, and I think you predate me into the 60s here in Bowie. You've had a long and distinguished career here, both with the government and with the city of Bowie as a Bowie City Council member and one of our all-time great school board members. So to enlighten the younger folks out there who don't know any of us, how about a brief sketch of what you've done here in Bowie and what boards and organization you've served with?
Well, John, you're right about, how many years we've known each other. And I've been here earlier than you were, of course. So my memory is not what it used to be.
None of ours are.
But anyhow, I came here in 1962, and I immediately became active in our civic association then, and I was appointed by Senator Conroy when he was alive, way back
Conroy,
there.
Yeah.
And I was on the committee that set up the charter for the city of Bowie.
Oh, wow, there you go.
So I was one of three people.
You're a pioneer, literally.
Right. And I also ran for council and was one of the first city councilmen and served 2 terms there for 4 years. After that, I didn't run the 3rd term because I had an opportunity to get on the county school board. Mm-hmm. And so I did. I was appointed by the governor first. But then after that term was over, I stood for election and had 2 elections, and I was elected for both. It was a bad time then because that was the time that we were involved with integration of schools.
I was here for that, the busing furor.
Yes. And I was president of the board then. Mm-hmm. And so, what I was going through, we finally were forced to integrate because the board had a majority of 5/4 to not vote for it. Mm-hmm. But then the court imposed it on us.
Judge Kaufman.
Judge Kaufman. As a matter of fact, he even wanted to arrest me because I had made a speech at Crossland before about...
In Oxon Hill.
In Oxon Hill. About 15,000 people were there, opposing, of course, busing at that time. It meant a real radical change because almost every student was transferred to different schools.
Right.
So it wasn't only a racial thing, it was a real tragic interference in the school lives of the parents here in the county. Well, after that, I also became, for another 8 years after my term on the school board, the chairman of the Ethics Commission for the school system. And
you would have had a lot to do these days.
Oh, yes. We didn't have that much to do then, frankly. No. There was a lot of politics done then with the school board because it was the first time.
Yeah.
But we had the same problems in politics then that you have all the time. Politicians generally do not speak with precision and clarity.
Yeah.
They just give broad statements, but just like the national health care thing that we're considering now, our president speaks in great, big, beautiful, rhetorical
flourishes,
generalities, but he doesn't get into the nitty-gritty, you see? So that clarity and precision gives us problems now, as it did then, at a much smaller level, of course. But, you know, I worked for the Internal Revenue Service. I was the Assistant Commissioner of Internal Revenue, my last job for the IRS before I retired. And then after that, I left and became a corporate director of public affairs for H&R Block. I opened up their lobbying office in Washington. They never had one. Their headquarters was in Kansas City. And I also, in that position, handled the National Director of Public Affairs for the IRS, the first one who did that. And we tried to use the mass media to educate the public on taxes. Not that we did any good at it, but that's what I did. Then after that, I became the National Vice President of NARF, which is the National Association of Retired Federal Employees, and I was that for 8 years.
Oh, okay.
And in the meantime, I was also, and I just recently got reappointed to the Economic Development Committee for the city.
And you've been involved with the lovely Bowie Performing Arts Center.
Oh yes, I
The Taj
forgot
Mahal
about
at
that.
Bowie High.
Yeah, I was the president of Brava,
Yeah.
which built and raised money for that center, and I'm now on the governance board
Yeah.
to help run the shows there and operate the facility.
It amazes me how that went. We had, you remember very clear, we had a big effort in town to get Bowie High School an auditorium.
That's right.
And that's gone from an auditorium to this humongous facility, which seems to be empty most of the time.
Well, we need to get more business in it, you
Yeah.
see. But what we're doing is we're giving an opportunity to the high school to have a state-of-the-art auditorium.
Well, they certainly do.
Right. And our executive director, which recently we hired, so that the governance board, I don't want involvement in the operations of the
Right,
thing.
right.
So he does that, and until he gets really going, we've been doing pretty good. We get the Naval Band from the Naval Academy to come there. We're going to get the Marine Band, the U.S. Army Band. We get the Maryland Opera. So we're eventually getting in there. We still have some problems. We still have to put the names of the contributors for the seats in there.
Yes, I know. I brought that subject up at one point a few years ago and received this horrible reply from someone who should rename
Oh, yeah,
nameless.
right.
Well, they still haven't done it.
No, we have the contract out now,
Oh,
so
good.
within a
5
month
years
we'll
later,
get that
huh?
done. Yeah. And so at that point, the Brava part will disappear
Yeah.
because the place will be completed, and it will be up to the governance board, which is made up of a member of the city, Brava, one member, the Park and Planning Commission, and the school board.
Oh, okay.
So that's a joint operation that we have there.
Counties didn't want to represent the county other than just the commission.
No,
Don't.
no, just the park.
Well, you know, it has so much promise, Al, and
It does, if
when
it's
it was
utilized.
began, and we can go other parts of the country and see some flourishing very well, as you know, in your travel. And there's no reason it can't be here, but it's
No.
going to take time. And
As far as the facility itself is concerned, there's nothing in Prince George's County
Sure.
like it.
No, there isn't.
absolutely.
See,
Maybe FedEx Field. You know, if I may make an observation, Al. Since we have a captive former county school board member, who was a school board member, by the way, when Bowie High School and Bowie schools ranked top in the county,
right.
and that's statewide.
That's
I
right.
picked up a copy of the Washington Post last week. This is the Maryland School Assessment Scores. Bert and I were just discussing this earlier. For elementary and middle school, reading, math. Prince George's County is in the absolute bottom of all the surrounding counties. State average in elementary school for reading is 87. Prince George's County, 77.5.